What did you learn about death, about life from losing her?
Well, I feel like the facade of the material world was made evident to me at a very young age. Most children grow up and their parents want to protect them from everything. And I felt that too. My mother wanted to downplay her own tragedy so that me and my brother could live a fruitful and fulfilling life. My father wanted to protect us from the hardship of her life so that we could live fulfilling lives. He'd often be the only father on a field trip, even though he was a distinguished professor. I mean, he was a busy man. He was a very busy man, but he tried to show up at a field trip and tried to make our lives as normal as possible. But in the process, we always understood that there was more to life than what other children were seeing it as. And now I know that as an adult, there's more to life than what other adults see it as. The material world disappointed early on so that we could see beyond it. And I often tell people that, there are many that grow up in tragedy, orphan children, refugees, that grow up and do incredible things because they immediately see past the facade. They see through all of the material promises of this world, the deception of it. And that you can choose to be bitter as a result of that, or you can choose to be better. And I think that for me, I had to consciously make that decision that I was going to live a life of prayer. I was going to live a life of charity. I was going to live a life of commitment. And in that process, invest in something that's greater. Invest in something that doesn't disappoint. And so I believe in God. I believe in the hereafter. And I believe that God will not let any trial or effort in this life go to waste without it being repaid in the hereafter. And so I work towards that. And so life and death, I understood existence to be transcendent early on. That if I believed that there was nothing to life except for life, I would be a very bitter person. But because I know that there is more to it than this, I'm able to exist in it without being depressed by it.
Existence is transcendence. What happens after we die? After the material instantiation fades away?
So the Quran tells us that God brought us from the darkness of the womb into this life. You were nothing but a dirty drop of fluid, and you became this fully proportioned human being. From the darkness of the womb, you come into this life. You experience it, and then you go to the darkness of the grave, only to be resurrected once again. And that we are souls with bodies, not bodies with souls. And there's a huge difference between those two things. This is the vehicle that contains us here. This is the material world that we encounter here, but we are not this, and this is not our entire existence. And so the soul continues. This is a life in which we seek to worship Him and seek to live in accordance with the purpose that He has set out for us. And after we pass away, our soul continues onwards, either to reward or to punishment, or to a mixture of both, but it's a realm of accountability. And hopefully it's a realm of reward, should we exist in a way that He wants us to exist.